So guys, it's Mike.
It's Dan.
This next story, it's really heartbreaking, but it's really inspirational. This little boy, 11-year-old Shi Yao, he's been diagnosed with leukemia.
Yeah.
And in China, if you're diagnosed with cancer, it's really tough because there's really no subsidies to help you. There's really no government entities set up to help you. I mean, literally, you're just out of luck.
Right.
Unless you're rich.
Right.
Which most people are not.
This is why recently you've seen so many people go to extremes to raise money for their family. And usually they have some form of cancer. And when we say extremes, like you guys can look this up. I mean, like people selling random services and goods on the street.
Yeah.
What this boy had to go through is really, really heartbreaking. And he's still fighting it right now.
Right.
In order to get treatment, he has to actually travel for about 250 miles. To this city to get treatment, and he has to come right back to go to school, so he doesn't miss any school. And he has to do it alone. He's really sad. He cries all the time on the trip, and because he's afraid.
11.
Yeah, he's afraid people are like, "Why are you alone? Like, where are you going?" So he's so sad. But here's the thing about it. First of all, he couldn't go to school for 2 years, and during that time, he actually borrowed all the books and studied on his own. And now that he's back in school, of course he cherishes the time that he's there. So he hurries back, he does really well in school.
Hurrying back is just part of the story. Under what conditions is kind of crazy because like right after his procedure, they usually recommend people resting for a while. But nope, right away, he's on the train. He waits for the train and buses for like hours, for like 6 hours
at one time.
And he watches the sunrise up from the bus stops, and that's what he has to go through. It's not even like, hey, there's a bus stop outside. I'm gonna jump on it and go home. It's not that simple.
And all the while, like you're getting chemotherapy for your disease, which you don't have a great chance to begin with. I mean, this is a traumatic thing in other countries. When you go to chemotherapy, you have your whole family driving you there, bringing you back. I mean, you're 11 and you have to go through this, and then you're like, I gotta go to school too because I can't let that fall behind.
I mean, if you guys can think back when you were 11, when you're 11, that's what, 5th grade or something?
That was 5th to 6th grade when you were 11.
And I remember when I was 11, I was such a kid. I was literally such a kid. I don't even know if I could grasp the idea that I have cancer. I'd just be like, I'm sick. Like, I don't,
Right.
So, and for me to be like, hey, you know what? Under all this, I want to go to school. First of all, you want to go to school. I mean, when you're sick and when you're young, do you ever want to go to school? I mean, most people are like, nah, I'm going to stay home.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna take a year off. Fine, great, whatever. I don't need to go study. But this kid is like, he's still trying to do his best, and he's also getting good grades, which is like impressive on top of that, because in China it's competitive as heck.
Definitely. And the other part of the story that really kills me is you see now more than ever a lot of broken families in China, where it wasn't the case when we were growing up. When we were growing up, you stayed married despite any reason, and more than ever now in China, young families who should have these values don't. So his particular situation, why he had to even go that far in the first place, is his mom walked out on him and the dad.
Yeah.
And the dad actually works really far in the other city just to provide for him as a single dad and his treatment. And you see this now all the time, right? Wives walking out, husbands walking out. That's why when we do a story about families taking care of each other, you would think, well, didn't they do that all the time? But now it's becoming rarer and rarer, which is why it's so touching,
Yeah, so I mean, this is truly a very sad but also very inspirational story. So guys, we'll put more information about this if you want to read up about it. So let us know your thoughts. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you
later.